Retail Trading Realities, Sunday, the 2nd of June, 2024. We are 6 months in, and I finally got an allocation of €30,000 from Darwinex Zeros. 3 out of 6 months, I have missed out on Darwinex's minimum allocation. I don't count November as a full month because I started in the fourth week of November. So all I had to do was, as soon as I got a notification of an allocation, I was to close all trades, turn off algorithmic trading, and then I would have got an allocation. But I didn't. I didn't want to intervene with my algo. And this month, I could have missed out on my allocation as well. So luckily, I didn't. So the first time this happened was on the 27th of December, where my equity was around 104, $600. So I was like 4.6% up, and I started December at around minus half a percent. So my whole gain was about 5% for December, up until the 27th of December. But then in the last few days of December, it dropped, and I missed out on an allocation of 30,000. On February the 26th was the second time I missed out on an allocation. So the equity was around, let me get it, yeah, around 108, 192, so plus 8%. But I ended up finishing the month at $103,000. And that's like, yeah, only 3% up. So I ended up losing 5% in the final 4 days of the month. Well, actually, no, it was February has 28 days. So yeah, the final 2 days of the month, I ended up losing 5%. And all I had to do was stop trading to get my allocation. And then the third time that I missed out on an allocation was the 28th of April. I had some euro yen trades on, and we had a Bank of Japan intervention where they bought the yen, and that sent all yen crosses crashing. So like the dollar yen, the euro yen, uh, they all went down in hours. So I got taken out of my long positions of the euro yen, and my equity was 110,000, yeah, around $110,200, and it dropped to around $107,500. So it's like I lost like maybe 2,300 US dollars, so 2.5% in the final 2 days of April, and I missed out on an allocation yet again in the final few days of the month. And so fast forward to just a few days ago, the 28th of May, I did get an allocation. On the 28th, I was actually up. My account equity was at $118,750. But 2 days later, the equity dropped to 111,000. So that's a 7,000 US dollar drop, a 7% drop nearly in what, 2 days? But this time I ended up getting the allocation. So I just got an allocation of 30,000. And all I had to do was close out the trades for the month when Darwinex alerted me to my temporary allocation of 30,000 euros. I would have made approximately 15% more than I have made now if I'd just closed out when Darwinex gave me the alert. My balance would be at around plus 25%, but instead it's at about plus 10.6% with this profit here of $10,600. So so what I've decided is that I'm going to give myself some new rules for Darwinex Zero. So the first rule is that equity has to be at an all-time high. Let's look at the equity chart here. Yeah, equity has to be at an all-time high. Take profit levels to have been hit on other symbols such as gold, and those trades would have been closed out. Three, the remaining open symbols, they would have to have an unrealized collective profit of more than 4%, and the open symbols would have had to be in a trade duration of more than 4 days. Rule number 5, I would have to be in a position to receive a Darwinex allocation. So if all of those 5 rules are met a few days before the month's end, so like in the final 4 days of the month, I will close out 99% of the positions, leaving only 1% on. And that is just to track if I've made the correct decision to close out early. But I don't really want to be leaving profits on the table like I have been. So let me kind of recap this whole momentum trend algorithm. So the 6 month summary of this algorithm is slightly disappointing. At 10.6%, I thought I would have made more, especially like a few days ago on the 28th of May when the equity of my account was at, plus 18%, and now it's only at 10.6%. So yeah, it's the algorithm is disappointing at 10.6% after 6 months, but we're still on target for a yearly return of above 20%, which is still decent. I must emphasize that this is the low risk setting for my expert advisor. On a high risk setting, we would be on track for an above 40% yearly return, obviously with a much larger drawdown of the 8.8% drawdown recorded here. The profit factor is also decent at 1.30. So, yeah, it's not great, but it's pretty decent. And the win rate is under the expected win rate. So the win rate right now, we've only been winning 16.2% of my trades, but we're still up, yeah? And the expected win rate for this system over the long term is around 20%. So yeah, we was expected just to win 20% of our trades, but we're only winning 16.2. So I'm not worried. I'm not too worried about that because that win rate can change later down the year. Win rates are not like evenly distributed with this system. The distribution is skewed heavily in the best months. Admittedly, earlier this year, I did make a really big mistake. So for 3 months, from January to the end of March, I had all the stock CFDs. That's like, Costco, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, but Tesla didn't trade anyway. I had all of the stock CFDs trading off the 15-minute chart instead of the 5-minute chart. I did mention it on my Twitter when I did discover it in April. I did make a profit from the Costco CFD, which is this symbol here, cost. Yeah, so I did make a profit with Costco, even with the wrong settings on the 15-minute chart. But I didn't make any profit with Nvidia until after I corrected the mistake after April. And I've definitely missed out on profits from Nvidia. In fact, I made a loss with Nvidia before March. So yeah, I've missed out on profits from Nvidia from January to March, that entire bull run. And I did put it through the strategy tester, and I saw all the profits I've kind of missed out from the back tests. So I'm gonna scroll over to the best performing symbols, and the best performing symbols are, let's look at it, gold. Yeah, so gold is the best performing symbol. I'm not too surprised by that because I think like gold had the best back test for my algorithm anyway, and it had the biggest profit factor. Also, gold works going long or short. Some of these other symbols like the stocks, I only go long stocks. So like gold is like works best with the momentum trend algorithm. So yeah, like gold has performed the best. It's given me 6.7%. After that, it's the stocks. So Costco, Meta, and then Nvidia. But if I didn't make the mistakes with Nvidia between the months of January and March, I think Nvidia would have been my top performer. And then we've got dollar yen. Yeah, so like we started off with a loss with dollar yen, and dollar yen made some profits like back in May and April. I'm not too worried about NDX and Microsoft. They're both carrying small losses. Euro yen is my worst performer at minus 2.8%. And obviously, no excuses, but the Bank of Japan intervention prevented this pair from being in profit at the end of April. We were near our target but then the Bank of Japan sent it down in 2 4-hour candles. So it hit our trailing stop, and we got out with some profit, but like not enough. And okay, anything else I got to look at? Let me look at some of these statistics. So okay, so profit factor 1.3, average profit is call it $500, and the average loss is call it $75. The my best trade is 2,700, and my worst trade was minus call it minus 700. So overall, I feel okay about this algorithm and how it's performed in 6 months. And I would say that concludes my 6 month report. What else? Okay, so I've got my 30,000 allocation, my first one, finally. Oh yeah, and I have a new website. So the website is momentumtrend.com. Yeah. Now, I've, it's only been up for like a few days, and it's not completely finished. So like, there's going to be like discounts, coupons, renting options with forexvps.net. There's going to be a separate affiliate site, so you can earn good commissions for selling my algos. There also will be a copy trading signal service powered by social trader tools. So have a look around. Also, a blog section where I keep up to date with the statistics of Momentum Trend Expert Advisor. Mm, anything else? Yeah, just so like have a look at the Momentum Trend website. There's lots there. The whole algorithm is explained. You got better prices. You got a better returns policy. What else? Yeah, so all information in this video will be left in the link in the description. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.